What's up with that? That's bizarre. I'm gonna turn the fan on. It's actually getting a little warm. Yes, JoJo reference. That's what it was. No, for some reason the webcam, at least as it's showing it to me in Streamlabs, is sort of fluctuating color-wise, and it's turning kind of like yellowish orange, and then going back to normal, and then back and forth between them every minute or so. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, unless it's maybe my lights have been moved slightly or something. I mean, they're where they are normally. That one's tilted a little bit, maybe. Unless it's something in the software somewhere. Hey, Ofasad, how are you? Let me see. Let me get the fan pointed at me. There we go. It's kind of a weird. It's been really cold down here the last few days, but tonight it's actually rather hot. Yeah, see, there it goes. There it goes, turning yellow. Why is it turning yellow? And then it's faded away. It's faded back to normal. Did you guys see that? Is that happening on your end? It just went like, and then faded right back out. Let me go look in the. Well, I don't know. I haven't changed anything in the camera settings. I don't know why it would be doing that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Video keeps turning yellow. What up in Discord? That's a little bit yellow. It's not as yellow as it's. See, right now it's super, 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 super yellow in my Streamlabs, in my little monitor here in Streamlabs. Crazy yellow. And then it just faded back to normal. Wonder if it has to do with leaning forward. Let me lean forward and see what it does. Maybe it messes with something. Not really. Yeah, I've worn a blue shirt. I've worn this shirt before many times. Many times. Scoot back. Sit here for a minute. Only thing I can think to really do is I can change the angle of the lights. They're in roughly the same position, but one of them is like tilted a little bit. Hold on. diffuse too. See what it does. Probably gonna get blown over by the fan now. Adjust the other one a little bit as well. Yeah, this one's gonna get blown over. I have to definitely have to move it a little. Well, let's give it a second. See if it does it again. In the meantime, what guitar should I start with? You could make a poll. Let's see. I think it has to do with how close I am to the camera. Because check that out, I just sort of scooted in towards it, and it immediately started to get that kind of sepia, yellowed sepia tint. And then I backed up and it faded out. I wonder if there was a Windows update. There was a Windows update a couple days ago, and I wonder if it reset like the all the auto white balance, all that stuff that I had fiddled with in the webcam settings. Yeah, I bet that's it. I bet that's it. Because it's reset other stuff before. Like that time it reset the microphone and everything, and we had to go dig around for 10 minutes trying to find what it had changed. Alright, let's see. Where are you hiding in here? Alright, camera. That Windows life. Come on. Come on. Come on, camera. Alright, settings. Let's see. Videos. Try out our new experimental location feature. Would you like to allow your webcam to use location info? Yeah, sure, Microsoft. Oh, Lord. Man, they're just blatant. Now, apparently, I can't adjust the advanced settings without turning the camera off in Streamlabs, because it looks like another app is using the camera already. Well, we'll just live with it. Basically, as long as I stay relatively far away, it's not a problem. I don't know if there's anything that I can adjust inside of Streamlabs. Let's see. Grayscale, downscale, FPS. Let's see. Stream delay. Nah, nothing really useful in slob settings. It would improve their experience. And that trickles down, right? When Microsoft makes more money, we all make more money. That's how it's supposed to work. Anyway, let's make a guitar poll. I might be yellow for a minute because I have to lean in. Hey, Priest, what's up? Yeah, imagine. Imagine. All right, let's see. Pick my guitar. Oh, crap. I can't see chat to see which guitars I should put in the poll. All right. Which guitar should I put in the guitar poll? Do I have an LTD? Voting for the Zion, which can't be played right now because it's still missing a part. And let's see. I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of tempted to get my very first guitar, my Geo, and put a new set of strings on it and use it. That should be like a special stream though, playing the entire stream with my first guitar. Wasn't that the premise of a Black Mirror episode? Of course, it went a lot darker than that, but still. The knockoff Explorer, the pin code. You know that? Are you just picking stuff that you know we can't play because it needs parts? I think you're just intentionally picking broken things. Well, speaking of, I isolated the weird sound that was going on with the bass the other day. There's something up with one of my cabs. Thank God it's not the amplifier. I was hoping it was just going to be a speaker cable or something, or an instrument cable, but it's definitely one of the cabs. I don't think it's a driver. It's probably something in the crossover in there, or maybe one of the rheostats used to turn the tweeter or the mid-range driver up or down. So wait, Alec, you want me to play the Les Paul? Is that what you're saying? You want me to play a Gibson? Because that's what it sounds like you're telling me. All right, let's see. I wonder if that guitar works. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. What have we not played in a while? And what would So I'm going to put the Motor Avenue on there. I'm going to put the Motor Avenue. I'm going to put the Reaver on there. I'm going to put the S2020 on there because that's not really like the most metal Ibanez. I don't think we've ever used it for Metal Monday before, but that was a guitar that that I pretty much grew up or developed all of my skills and stuff on, and I played a ton of metal on it back in the day, so that'd be fun. People just suggesting things that aren't even guitars now. for the guitar pole. You guys are really helpful. It's like the stream suggestion section of the Discord. What else would be a good but slightly different option? Oh, Lord. What's in that case? No, that wouldn't work. That's got De Armands in it. That'd be janky. Actually haven't played the Parker in a while. Oddly enough. So let's do. Alright. So we'll do the Motor Avenue McQueen Proto. We'll do the Reaver RP004. Redwood Limba. I don't have enough things for that. We'll do the Ibanez S2020 XAV. We'll do the. What else did I say? We'll do the Parker, because again, we haven't played the Parker in a bit. And we'll do the Mane Tau Gloss, and we'll set it for 5 minutes, and we will start the poll. Mr. Dang. Well, the problem is the case, the case, or the poll thing, menu box blocked off the chat, so I couldn't see what you were saying. But mystery case is a good idea. Dang. Hold on. Can I edit? You can report the poll. Can I not end the poll? Considering there's only 3 people watching, given that 2 people are saying mystery case, that's probably the way the poll would go. Can you really not end the poll? Oh, there is. There's an end poll. All right. Mystery case. Well, so I've got to look over the cases. And think about which cases do I not know what's in them? Most of them I know what's in them. Or at least as far as electric guitars go. The acoustic guitar cases, who knows, because they all look the same. Alright, so that's Ibanez, that's Ovation, that's BC Rich, that's the Soul Tool, that's Schecter. There's a bunch of Fender cases that all look the same that have random things in them. Various strats mostly, because the Tele case is different. There's two tweed cases, which I know which two guitars are in the two tweed cases, but I don't know which tweed case contains which guitar. That's that. So yeah, the Schecter, the red Schecter's out here, so that's got to be the Zion in that case, which we can't play, unfortunately. That'd be perfect for Metal Monday, but can't use it at the moment. It's in there, so it's this 60. Actually, that's probably more interesting than just plain mystery case, because like I said, most of the cases I know what's in them. There are only a few, and I can by process of elimination figure out which one's in which. But yeah, numbering the cases, just put numbering cases and let you guys actually pick the guitar by number might be more entertaining, even if I know what's in them. Hmm. Well, I mean, I could just like stack them up on the couch behind me or something and stand out of the way for a minute. All right, hold on. Let me make. Oh, you move some of this junk out of the way. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. So we'll use this one as ground floor. Tweed case will be case number 1. We'll go from bottom up. All right. So case number 1. Mm-hmm. Case number. This is case number 2. And we'll do something in here. No, that won't work. Wait, where is it? Oh. Hold on, I'm going to have to turn the overhead lights on to see what's in here. Got no idea what's in that case, actually. Do case number 3. there is in fact a mystery case back here. Have something in it? It does. What? Actually, since this is a hard case, we'll call this case number 3. So put the soft case on top. And I unironically do not know what is in this case. There's definitely something in it. And that'll be case number 4. Do it and turn the lights back off. Case number 5. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. It could be full of doubloons. It could also be full of something that's not playable, which is why I don't remember what's in it. So you're taking a chance if you go with 3. So, case 1, case 2. This has 1 of 2 guitars in it. I'm not sure which one of the 2 it has in it. Case 2, pretty sure I know which one that is. Case 3, no idea. Case 4, and case 5. And I think case 4 has only been on the stream a couple times, and case 5 I don't think has ever been on the stream. All right, so let's make a poll. Hold on, I'm gonna make a poll. Poll. Pick a case. 1, 2. All right, 5 minutes. Start poll. All right, knock yourselves out. That'd be an entertaining contest to do. Got all kinds of cool ideas for contests if were the stream ever to get big enough to pay for it. Change the title. Did the title not update properly? Nah, it says Metal Monday. I am definitely not clickbaiting anybody with win a guitar at this point. So yeah, what's up? Again, remember 1 is on the bottom. With mystery guitars. I do think I am going to do that. I'm going to put new strings and fix up my first guitar, and we're going to do a stream with just my first guitar. And maybe we should do just the songs that I learned when I first started on that guitar. I don't have a PV. I need a tiny little PV amplifier though to go with it to really nail my tone from when I was 15. Oh, jeez. Peavey Rage 158. I should have set this to like a 3-minute poll. 5 minutes seems like too much. What, a Marshall Micro Stack? You mean like the one over here, slightly out of view of the camera? That was my second amplifier? It's boxed up at the moment, but... or mostly boxed up. I can't find one of the original boxes for it. I got it for Christmas 2000, I think. Here's the head. Probably full of spiders. This little guy. They actually sound pretty good distorted. The clean is awful on them. I mean, it's not even a real clean at any point, pretty much, but just crank the gain on them and chug away, and they're pretty fun. I want to get one of like the mini Ampeg or acoustic bass stacks too, so I can have them next to each other. And I have an Ibanez micro guitar, and make like a little like mini stack panorama with a micro guitar, and get one of the micro basses too. And actually, I do have my sister's Questlove drum kit, so I could have a micro drum kit as well to go with them. Because she wouldn't even try to play them, unfortunately. No, there are plenty of Marshalls that have great clean sounds. Just not any Marshalls made after like 1990. Alright. Poll should just about be up. The results are probably pretty predictable. All right. Case number 3 got all the votes. So here's hoping case number 3 actually has something we can play. Well, so that'll be first. Before we open the rest of... No, I'm not opening the rest of the cases. Because... well, then where would the mystery be? You guys would know what's potentially in those cases for if we ever do mystery guitar beforehand. Plus, if case number 3 has something that's not playable in it, then, you know, we'll kind of have to do it again. Or just pick another one at random. If it allowed us to do ranked choice voting, it'd be even better. All right, so let's move these over here. All right. Yeah, I get the angle you're going for. All right, 1 latch, 2 latch, 3 latch. Anybody want to guess before I open this? Because I really don't remember what's in here. I really don't. It could be something completely busted. It's a guitar. It might not even be a guitar. It could be doubloons, like Ofasad said. Ah, it's a guitar with no strings on it. It's a pretty cool one, though. A pretty cool one. That's why the case is so heavy. This guitar is a friggin' brick. This is a probably about 1986. Probably about a 1986 Schecter PT, thereabouts. It might be slightly earlier. I can't remember when I had it apart if it was stamped or dated anywhere, but going by the features that are on it, this is sometime from probably about 84 to 86. It has, so this one required, when I got this at a pawn shop, or well, more correctly, my dad actually found it at a pawn shop and then sent me pictures of it and asked me if he should buy it, and I said, yeah. But when we got it, pretty much everything was like rusted out on it. All of the hardware was completely covered in rust, and most of the screws were frozen. All of the saddle screws were frozen. And the reason why it's not strung up is because the saddle screws on the E-string saddle are still frozen, and I don't have anything that can break them loose. So I'm going to have to just like pull them out somehow, or maybe even drill them out and get some replacement screws for it. Sadly. But took it all apart, cleaned everything, polished everything, soaked the saddles and all of the screws in Rust Buster, and most of them broke free. So pretty much all of the others adjust okay. Might be one or two screws that are stripped a little bit, but this E-string saddle, the screws just will not move. The rust is so down in there, like inside of the threads of the screw, and nothing seems to be able to get in there and get them out. But yeah, took the whole thing apart, cleaned it up, polished the frets. It's got a decent amount of fret wear, but nothing horrible, like nothing that prevents it really from being played. The only thing is just that E-string is so high that it's pretty uncomfortable to play. But well, no, because we wind up, I still have to take that E-string saddle off, and I'd wind up basically trashing a set of strings. I was going to say we could restring it up, because this is a vicious sounding, absolutely vicious sounding guitar. These are the Schecter Super Rocks, I believe, the original ones. Tom Anderson might have wound them. There was one other company, I think Schaller, that also made them for them. They also splittable. There's a push-pull down here on the tone control, which is really cool. And they're so hot that when you split them, they're actually still pretty hot. Like, you don't get that massive drop off you get with a lot of pickups. But it is chunky. I mean, it's a good 9 pounds. Yep. Completely forgot I had this guitar. I've only owned it for maybe a year and a half. But just kind of squirreled away back there somewhere. This is a B serial number. So one way to know that this is from that time period, like that 84, 86-ish area, is that the serial number will typically be on the neck plate and start with an A or a B. When they start with an A or a B, that means that the parts of the guitar were actually ESP parts predominantly. Because at this point, the Schecter name had been moved to Dallas, because Dave Schecter wound up losing the company to some of his investors. Apparently he had taken some loans from some rather, let's say, less than reputable individuals. And he showed up one day at the shop, and the doors were locked, and by the time they got it open, they found out that everything inside was gone. All of the tools and everything, all the parts, tools, and stuff inside the shop had just been carried off. And so the investors basically took the name, took all the tools and parts, moved the company to Dallas, and then hired people to slap the guitars together out of what parts they had left. Once they started to run out, they contracted ESP to make the parts for them and put them together. And so those A and B serial numbers are indicative of Dallas era guitars, which are predominantly ESP parts. I've heard that some are Lossy Doe parts, which is the company Godin, but I haven't seen anything to absolutely corroborate that. It gets really murky around the end of that time period. They wound up kind of burning out. You know, they weren't able to compete in the market really because their model involved essentially just buying parts and having people put them together and not really relying on anyone who knew what they were doing, like how to run a guitar business. Uh, so they wound up essentially losing the name. And in maybe 88, 89, something like that, somewhere around there, the guy that owned ESP wound up buying the brand. So now ESP and Schecter are actually owned by the same guy, which you'll notice some similarities in some of their models and lines, especially throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. They differentiate themselves a bit more now, or do a bit better job of it now when it comes to their budget lines. They do still have their custom shop, though, and their custom shop still makes really, really excellent guitars out in California. Aesthetically, not really my bag, not as cool as the ones from the 80s, like this or my pink one or the red one, which is at least partially from the Anderson era, the era preceding this one. But still really cool guitars. Not built, the ones from this time period where they were just putting parts together are not built nearly as well as the earlier ones, or their current custom shop ones for that matter. Like if you take this guitar apart, you'll see some pretty dodgy stuff, you know, like screw holes that aren't really perfectly aligned, or like, you know, where they missed and then re-drilled, stuff like that. But it is still a ridiculously, ridiculously good sounding guitar. Um, it's, you know, just kind of like one of those things where they got the formula right, essentially, you know. Good quality parts, good quality wood and pickups and hardware and electronics, just kind of slapped together a little shoddy. Still sounds good, but, you know, you have to dial them in and do some work to really get them playing as well as they could. But 350, not far off, actually. Not far off. You know, in this condition, this guitar would probably bring about $1,000 somewhere like eBay. I'll say, I'll say it'll be okay should I ever wind up selling it. But yeah, it's just this E string saddle here that it just won't move. Like the screws are completely frozen. I mean, I could put 5 strings on it and we can play it like Keith Richards. Wouldn't be that great for metal though, without the ability to chug. But I even tried moving these screws manually, you know, like gripping them with some vice grips, you know, holding the saddle in place and turning them, and they will not turn. And I mean, they soaked in Rust Buster, they soaked in Metal Rescue for like weeks, and all the others broke free because a couple of the other saddles were frozen too. But this E string, I guess it's just like eaten into it. It's so deep in there that it won't come out. Unfortunately, I don't have any calipers that'll measure a screw this small too. I need to get a new set of calipers anyway. Get some digital calipers to figure out what the actual screw size is. I think this is probably a Schaller bridge. You know, it's not stamped anywhere, but it resembles the type of Schaller bridges from the time. Um, I can get a screwdriver and show you guys the saddle. You can actually even see, if you look, you can see that the neck pickup is slightly crooked. So they just apparently didn't bother measuring when they were drilling for the holes for the ring. What bit would we need? Probably this one. Pretty good finish work though. They kept their finish standards up, but they probably farmed that out, I would bet. Probably. Actually, I might just be able to do that by hand, yeah. Right. This kind of unusual shape for the string slot in the saddle also has this little roller in the front, which is cool, which is another thing that makes me think it's probably a Schaller. Probably Schaller. Ultrasonic cleaning machine? No. I don't have anything like that. But yeah, these guys won't budge. And because they won't budge, they're probably stripped on the top too. So they really just need to be replaced outright. This is the constant problem though. Uh, I have all of these, I made a list a while back. I think I mentioned in the Discord of all these project guitars. And most of them just need something small, but something irritating. And I also tend to find, like I'll get a guitar that'll have an issue and I'll take it apart to fix the issue. And in the meantime, I'll just find another guitar and then I'll be distracted by that and play that guitar ad infinitum. And then the guitar with the issue gets, stuck somewhere else. Stuck in a case back in a back room, and I don't remember what it is until people vote on it in a mystery guitar poll. It's how you wind up with, 50 something project guitars and amps. Because I do the same thing with amps too. Amp blows a tube or something, then I'm just like, yeah, I'll just find another amp. And I do. And then 5 years later, I went, oh, hey, I should play that amp again. Let me retube it. Man, that guitar's a hoss. Man, that thing's heavy. But I have another Schecter. The sort of champagne pink Schecter is from the same time period. And then the red Schecter back there is a little bit earlier, but I'm not convinced it's 100% authentic. Like that one should be from like 80 to 84 ish. Uh, but I'm not sure. I think it's an authentic body, but I'm not sure it's an authentic neck. And it's very, very difficult to confirm. Very difficult to confirm. Do I fish? I used to fish. I haven't been fishing in probably like 16 or 17 years. But when I was a teenager, especially before I started playing guitar and getting into music, I used to go fishing pretty regularly. I still have a good amount of fishing gear somewhere around here. Put it in a jar of rust remover and tape it to a sander. Homemade ultrasonic cleaning. No, that was kind of. I mean, that was one of my, I guess, one of my hobbies or pastimes. Before I got into the guitar thing mainly, because my dad, the place where my dad worked was like an office park, but the office park was set in between a bunch of natural lakes. Uh, and so, we'd go meet him after work or something like that and just kind of hang out there in the lakes and fish. So I've got a pretty decent pile of fishing gear, some pretty nice quality stuff too, that I saved my money for before I started spending it all on guitars. But haven't used it. I don't know if I've even used it since we've moved to Georgia. So that'd be 17 years. So I think I might have had gotten a fishing license like maybe the first year we were here. But I think that was to go fishing at the beach when we went on a beach trip right after we moved here. So in lieu of that, Where'd that the guitar that was in the gig bag? We've never played on stream before, and it would actually be really good for Metal Monday. So I'm just gonna get it and we'll roll with it for a little while. I think we might have gotten it out, but I've never played it. See no singing fish, no big mouth Billy Bass. Not really the type of thing I would buy. So this is a fairly recent. Oh, this has strap locks. Cool. We can use my strap lock strap. This is a DK2 QM Pro, made in Mexico. It's actually quite nice. This also came from a pawn shop. It's in really good condition too. Yep, got Duncan's in it. This is is it a Jazz and a JB? I can't remember which ones they put in these stock. Hold on. Jackson. DKM2. Is it DK2QM? DKM2M Pro. Let's see. That's a slightly different finish though. So this one with the maple fingerboard and chlorine burst is a 59 and a JB. Let me see if I can find this exact one though. They probably use the same pickups in all of them, but in the event they didn't, let me search for. Alright, there we go. DK2Q. See details, come on. Yeah, 59 in JB. Alright. So being a JB, we should get some skronk out of it. Pretty nice. Could probably stand. Need to tweak the action a little bit. Bridges got a little bit of tilt in it. I haven't adjusted much on this one. I think I put some new strings on it right when I got it. But that's about it. It's a little bit higher. Yeah, I mean it really is. It is pretty darn nice. And honestly, given some of the poor QC I've seen coming out of the Jackson Custom Shop lately, it would almost be tempted to go with this because I mean the fretwork on this is surprisingly good. I mean, like they did a great job crowning and leveling these. And one of the big problems I've seen with the custom shop stuff lately is the fretwork has just been all over the place because apparently the custom shop is down to like 3 or 4 guys. trying to handle thousands and thousands of orders. And they're apparently in like a space the size of my basement in the Fender factory, trying to do the entire Jackson U.S. operation, and they just can't keep up with it. So I've seen tons and tons and tons of examples of like poor QC on the new ones. While pretty much all of these, the Mexican Jacksons that I've played, have been really, really nice, really nicely done. That's probably not really the type of job to which I'm well suited. I mean, there are certainly worse jobs, but I would probably be a better fit in the QC room, you know, telling them what they've done wrong and play testing them. All right, let's start dialing in. You can hear that, though, on that bridge. You can hear that JB bite already. Still a little bit out of tune. Any job? I would prefer to be retired. Yeah, we're a little out of tune. We might even have to unlock. It's been in the bag for a while. This is what we get when we do mystery guitars, though. Steve Vai's Tech. No, I'm not that good. Not that good at setup and fretwork and stuff. Like, you got to be among the best in the world to work on that dude's guitars. Especially since he plays with sevens. These level outs. For any time we go to retune, like if we're going to have to actually unlock and retune a Floyd, set your fine tuners to basically the center of their travel. Vai's overrated? Overrated in what way? I mean, as far as like the sort of style of music that he plays, he's pretty unreal. Yeah, we're about a quarter tone flat. And what I'm going to do as I'm tuning this up, I'm going to tune the outside strings slightly sharp, because as I start to bring up the inside strings, it's going to pull the bridge up and flatten those out. And we can speed up the tuning process by kind of predicting just how much that adjustment is going to occur. doesn't sound angry or black metal at all. Well, I don't think that's what he was going for. The Love of God Universe. They came out with what was the one that they came out with last year? It was like the Pia or something. That's like a gem, but with it's like more sort of modernized. Like the monkey grip is like split into two kind of teardrop shaped holes and everything. A little more futuristic looking. Yeah, the Pia. I've only seen it. I haven't seen one in person yet. I've only seen a little bit of talk about it, a few pictures of them. But I kind of like the updates, like the slight updates to the shape and the updates to the monkey grip. The inlay, it's got the inlay just like the fancier gems is a little bit too much. I'm not a huge fan of the vine inlays and stuff like that on the neck. So this just becomes a process as you're tuning double locking guitars like this. Every time you cycle through each of the strings, you get incrementally closer, and you cycle through them a few times, and then suddenly you're there. Evos, but more refined. The Evos, every gym I've played with Evos, they've been just way too hot. Which, I mean, I know especially combined with his the Bogners back in the day, and then the Carvins, which were kind of like Bogner clones, so to speak, the Ecstasy clone on the front end of the Legacy preamp. It was just like instant compressor, just completely squished down and mega saturated. Forgot I had it. I kind of forgot I had it till I saw the bag and said, "Oh, I think that's got the dinky in it." Almost there. Every string was just about a little over a quarter tone flat. Yeah, it is. This is a nice quilted maple top. I think this is alder body, maple neck, and then it's got kind of a striped ebony fingerboard. The stripe is sort of subtle. I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but in the room you can see it's got kind of like these sort of gray and black streaks or stripes in it. It's really nice looking. Really nice looking. So pretty there as far as that goes. And so then Macassar ebony, it's not. It doesn't look as striped as Macassar ebony tends to. Macassar ebony tends to have kind of white and very, very light brown streaks in it. I mean, it could be, but it's a little dark, a little bit dark for that. Unless, I mean, they could dye it, because a lot of companies do take other pieces of ebony with lighter streaks in them and then dye them to try to make them darker. Hey, Pan, what's up? You're living dangerously there. Living awfully dangerous. Posting in chat when Alec is around. Alright. So, I think I mentioned it before. When you tighten your locking pads, tighten the screws by hand till they stop. Then when you take your wrench, just cinch them. Don't crank on them. You know, don't pump them back and forth or anything. Just go and use the wrench to make sure that they're clamped shut. That's all you need to do. Otherwise, you're just asking for trouble. This has the wrench holder on the back of the headstock. They do different things. You know, mahogany as a rule is going to give you a lot more kind of low-mid kind of presence. It'll give you more chonk. Alder tends to give you kind of like a sweeter upper mid-range and high-end than mahogany does, though, and it's a little bit less firm usually. Wonder if I have a bar for this somewhere. I'm not going to look for it, though. Nah, man. You just got to look. I mean, go to basically any guitar forum, and you'll get this to some degree. Some of them are much more oriented towards the gear talk than anything else, but it's pretty much inescapable on any guitar-oriented, community. It winds up kind of becoming about gear, because that's, in one way, one of the more objective things you can talk about. You can talk about, what wood does it have, what pickups does it have, all that kind of stuff. While you're talking about more subjective things like, oh, well, I really, really like this band because X, Y, and Z, and some other guy says, yeah, well, I really, really don't like this band because of X, Y, and Z, and then you don't really get anywhere. You do still get into that nonsense with, people nitpicking every single part in wood to death. You can't play metal because you don't have, a basswood body or something. Dude, ham radio dudes. Oh man. Oh man. I know. I used to know the amp and electronics repairman at the music store that I started out at was a big ham radio guy / conspiracy theorist. And oh my God, if you brought up like radio at all, then he was just like gone. He's down that hole and not coming back. Man, you could really hear that JB though, those treble strings. .59 in the neck, which that's actually kind of surprising. I would have thought of jazz as a 59 is pretty mellow comparatively, but it gets you a lot more clarity. I actually don't think we need the boost with this guitar. The pickups are hot enough on their own. You know, so like our bridge pickup, the JB, pretty toothy, kind of a low mid cut, upper mid treble boost. We go to our neck pickup. Damn you, invisible pick. Pretty stringy and pretty mellow, relatively speaking. That's one of the advantages, though, of lower output pickups like a 59. Man, this freaking gloss finish is getting all the lights, getting all the reflections. But you can hear the string to string separation really, really, really well. When I'm playing, I'm not so much, usually, I'm not like thinking this note, this note, this note, this note. In my head, I kind of instinctively know, like, okay, you know, if I want to produce this sound, these are the notes that'll be involved, and then this is what my hands are going to do. You know, but I'm not thinking about the notes as I'm playing them. I'm thinking more in terms of like the sound that I want to create, and then my hands translate that. All right, let's get back to a gain sound. That's a lot of gain. Holy crap. We need less low ends. Not loud enough? Have to be super careful. Have to be super careful with the volume control, because the volume control on the preamp will go from like too quiet to just freaking wide open in a tiny, 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 like a millimeter's worth of adjustment. Loop. Well, I don't have a traditional looper pedal, you know, just like a record something and play back type pedal at all. The only loopers I have are weird ones that do very, very strange things to the loops. So, use the weird looper. Okay. Give me just a second. We're gonna put this just on top of here. I mean, I could just refund your points. If you prefer. Let's see. We need this. What are you caught on? Get unstuck. Unstuck. Alright, so this is the looper. No refunds. I mean, I'm not quite sure. I think this one, this goes here. I'm not quite sure what you're expecting from the looper. We're live. Volume down, volume down. But it will make a loop. And then do stuff to it. I don't think I've ever actually used this looper with a super distorted tone like this. So that might be interesting in and of itself. Let me get the remote foot switch over here so I can actually control it. Alright, so that's down, that's down. I'm going to turn this back up. That doesn't sound good. That sounds like a bad cable somewhere. You plugged in all the way? Let me check something on the manual too. Yeah, that sounds like an open cable, which we shouldn't be hearing at all. Let's see, 856 for Zellerzazen. Actually, the 12th fret's a little higher than I would prefer on this. Gonna have to bring it down probably about, actually I think it needs a truss rod adjustment more than anything. I could probably get it down about another, maybe even close to a little more than a 1/16 of an inch. Oh, come on. You tell me the manual's not going to load now. This is a ludicrously complicated pedal. Let's see. Additional information. Don't care about that. Support. Manual. Alright, let's see. Audio in, audio out, MIDI in, MIDI out. Something going wrong here. Hold on. Let's go back to here. Sounds like we've got a shorted cable. Let's go back. Let's take the pedal out of the lineup and make sure we're okay. Yeah, okay, so we're good there. We're good there. Bring that down. How does that feel? And we're good there. Good there. And then we got nothing. Then we got nothing, so let's bring this up a little bit. Bring this up a little bit. Okay. No, the pedal's not broken. It's probably this patch cable. Now we work, but we've got a little bit of noise in the line coming from somewhere. We got like a little extra hum in the line coming from somewhere. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me change that patch cable out. Nope, we still got it. I bet I know what it is. I bet we're not running quite enough power. We're probably not. Given everything else that's hooked up, we're probably straining the power supply a little bit. So let me unhook. Unhook that. We'll have to live with a little bit of noise for a moment. All right, so let's plug the remote foot switch back in. That changed the pitch of the noise. That's bizarre. so that's play. Turn the envelope way down. Told you it was a weird looper. Now the trick becomes getting it to do what you want it to do. I'm gonna set way, you know, like depending on the method they're using, you can do this type of thing with software. There's a lot of ways to approach it. We can actually go even lower with it. This is as low as it'll go. At which point it just sounds like a motor of some kind. And we can adjust, like we can sort of fine tune the length of the loop. So as we start to make it shorter and shorter and shorter, it becomes more kind of percussive. It'll eventually get down to just kind of a blip. Start to make it longer. I start to get these kind of fades. cool, actually. So I can choose like at what point in the initial loop. I can choose at what point in the initial loop for it to start kind of looping, for it to pick the note that it's looping. So as I move back towards the beginning of the loop, we involve more notes, they start to kind of step on each other. We can start to separate the parts of the loop and have them play them back on top of each other. All right. So you could do some pretty elaborate and out there kind of stuff with it. And get these very mechanical kind of drones out of it. Because you can essentially blend, you can have it choose, you know, a chunk of the phrase that you're playing, play it back, and then take the edge off of the attack. So instead of hearing like dot 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 dot, you know, dot da 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 da, it will fade up and blend to those, so then it becomes much more kind of electronic sounding, much less guitar sounding. And I mean, it can get outrageously complex because you can actually break the loop up, whatever loop you play into it, into three separate chunks, into three separate little chunks, and then like manipulate each one of those separately and have them playing back on top of each other simultaneously. So instead of having like a linear loop, start point, end point, you can pick note 1 out of that loop, which is this little block, note 2 and note 3, and then rearrange them on top of each other simultaneously. We can change the attack, we can change their gain levels, we can change how fast they play, we can change the sort of spacing between how often they play back, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of crazy stuff with it. But it's very much like it's more like its own instrument than it is, you know, a looping pedal that you're going to use to create a track to play on top of. You know, it creates all these kind of complex pads and really interesting things, you know, that you're not going to do with a Boss looper or a Digitech looper or something. But it's also really complicated to learn to use. I've owned it for a couple years and I still don't really completely understand everything about what to do with it. You know, how to get closer to exactly what I want from it. I've gotten better at using it, but still not, you know, still nowhere close to really understanding all of the depth and everything that's going on in there. This pedal is the 856 for Zeller's ASN by Montreal Assembly. This guy makes a lot of really interesting pedals, just in general. He makes one called the Per PLL, which you would probably like since you like harsh noise and stuff like that too. Should actually be probably pretty fun to combine with that one. Why are you popping? Oh, that's why the power jack bumped a little piece of metal on the cable. Alright. Alright, let's see. So I guess let's get a little more traditional and play songs that involve playing the guitar. Though I did enjoy that diversion. I gotta figure out where that noise is coming from though. I said it's probably just the power supply. Just overworking the power supply with that pedal in the chain. So, do we have any Metal Monday requests? Got a comic somebody posted in there. Oh Lord, that's corny. What's wrong with Brian Eno? I mean, pretty much, like next to none of the experimental and atmospheric music that you like would exist without Brian Eno. Let's see, there's still actually some requests from last Metal Monday that I don't think we got around to. We did that one. Definitely did that one. Set the fan. You should probably listen to more Brian Eno, especially the stuff from the late 70s and early 80s, before you get too down on Brian Eno. Because like I said, you know, there'd be no Basinski without Brian Eno. the mids where I want them. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Did Tesla build synthesizers at all? Can't recall one. I mean, if you'd gone with like Leon Theremin, then maybe. Or the obvious one, Bob Moog. But what should we play? What do we got? Did you link a song up higher up in the chat somewhere? All right, let's check it out. Hopefully my volume's not turned all the way up. Okay, good. 17 minutes and 36 seconds. Oh, it's a full album. Okay. You know that's legit when the whole album is less than 20 minutes long. What you been listening to? All right, so we got a little organ at the beginning. Satriani, yeah, he's got some cool stuff. The first album, the Surfing with the Alien is kind of like a classic. It's got, if you're going to learn like guitar shred instrumentals, it's a good place to start because most of them aren't crazy hard compared to some of the stuff that would come later. After that, he gets pretty hit or miss for me. I got something with a bunch of delay. Some oscillating delay. Yeah, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the Satriani quite a lot of the shredders, it's kind of a generic term, a catch-all term. I find like the individual parts aren't necessarily super hard. It's just getting them up to tempo and getting them clean, getting them to where you can do them every time. But you'll find, okay, wait, it's just a scale sequence. It's just, All right, so we need some delay on here. Need a lot of repeats too. Alright, so we have this little kind of minor scale line coming in. Sounds like we're in the A minor scale, probably. Starting off on that high C, giving it a little trill. Hey, Ride, what's up? Yeah, it kind of is. It's got that sort of like dark atmospheric thing going on so far. And there are two little guitar parts here. The higher guitar part is just playing like a small little box shape. Something kind of like that. Bow, 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 bow. Alright, so the high guitar, the little pattern is just... E, F, G, F, C, G. Right, then the guitar that's doing the little trill that's coming off is starting on the C. We could either play that, we could play that all on the B string, really, if we wanted to, and start up here. C, B, C, B, then down to E, E, F, E, and then B, C, B, down here at open. Or we could start here. I kind of think it's all on the B string, though, because it sounds like you can hear a big slide, a big zoop at the end of the first trill. So we do that several times. All right. Alright, so it's obviously down tuned, but turn our delay off now. Alright, so we have a big D power chord. So D, then E flat, D, and then I guess that'd be really G flat, because if we're playing it on a 6 string, we have to play it in inversions. Then B flat A. Oh, come on. So then we're going to come down to, sounds like F natural probably. Right. So playing this, if we have to play this in standard tuning, essentially we're going to take our D power chord and we're going to add the E string to it up here. It's going to give us more of that low growl. We can't get it without either an extra string or again a deeper tuning like a D standard tuning or something. Then we're going to take that up a half step, then up to 9, then down to 1, then open, and then land on an F power chord. So a little less treble. So that's what we're vamping here, or we're looping here at the very beginning. Alright, so that time we get a little bit extra. Alright, so then that we add, at that time we add an E coming out of the F. So Alright, so then that's just staying on the D. Then up to the E flat. Boom. Then to A. So. Down to a G. And back to the D. E flat. A. All right. So. The second time does something a little different. Back to the D, E flat. Oh, that's E natural that time. A. F sharp. That's interesting. Okay, so second time. Listen to that whole sequence. E. A. G. D. E. A. F sharp. Back to D. All right, then there's some little arpeggio on top of there. Let's do. Alright, so now we're going to have some kind of little arp. Dum. Yeah, there's at least two. I mean, there are two that are doing like a little loop on top of there that are doing, you know, the... And then another one doing that type of little part. And then there's this main guitar that's coming in that's doing the distorted section. Ba, ba, da, ba, da. Wonder if we can get the drop D. Almost. Boom. Well, so the two background guitars are basically just doing each of their little parts over and over and over. You know, like they're quite literally, they're probably played with a looper. You know, one is going, and the other one is. So at the moment, the only one that's really changing is the distorted guitar. Alright, so then we get a second loop. Right, when we get to this arpeggio part. Right, still using the A minor scale. Right, so you can't hear exactly what it's doing, but it's essentially like a form of like a D6 or a D13 type of chord, like a D minor 6. Which gives us like a lot of dissonance, a really, really, really clashing kind of sound between this and then these two. Bum, 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 right, so then it starts to add in that little pattern, that little. Might be playing it with a slightly more closed fingering. This is kind of wide for most people, probably. We could also play that. Would be the best way to finger that down here. Better definition here, though. There are some things that are similar. There's more dynamic contrast in Godspeed, though. You know, there's more kind of gradual change between like loud and soft, and I think a more diverse kind of range of textures across it. There are some things that are pretty similar. Alright, so now we're back to the E. Alright, so now as these chords start to change underneath, we're taking this riff. Sounds like he's sliding up into it, so in this case we're probably moving it up to this part of the neck rather than keeping it down here. Okay, then back to just to playing the straight chords. All right, so we have. So then what do we do? Boom. Down. D, 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 E, 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 E. Then was it A, G. I mean, how long does it take? That's going to depend entirely on you. You know, there's not like, there's no answer to that, really. The formula, I mean, there are kind of pretty clear formulas, you know, in most of this type of stuff. You know, this section, this section, this section, this section. I'm building from, you know, these sounds, adding these to it, changing them in these ways to get the next part. You know, that kind of keeps a thematic coherence, you know, from part to part rather than it sounding totally random, you know. So when it moves from the initial chords, the big chords, then into this next section, you know, from the boom, 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 it's shifted where in the first part it was playing E flat, it's raised that up to E. So your brain goes like, okay, we still have that initial root, but then wait a minute, it's twisted a little bit. We've changed one note. Then we're up to the A. Hey, Zonpaul, how are you? How do you mine for fish? There's our E again. There's our A again. And there's our F sharp again. So this is probably in like A standard or drop A or something like that, because you can hear when he gets to the A chord, we hear this really low boom down underneath it. So that's just two, that's just D chugs. Alright, then it sounds like it goes up to the E but has an open D in it. So E, D, D, D. Then E with a D on top. Then A with a D on top. I wasn't expecting this little accordion. Da 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 dum. All right, and the chords underneath are just playing D, F. We have that little right, then the original little clean guitar loops have come back. But this would be pretty easy. Like if you have, if you have a DAW, you have some kind of recording software, this would be a pretty easy type of thing to make yourself. Because all of the parts are pretty small. It's just kind of recording like, okay, here's this track I'm going to use as a loop. Here's this other track I'm going to use as a loop. And then bringing them in and out in different places. Like there's nothing super, super crazy here. That would require you to have tons of stuff, or a full band or anything to be able to make it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting that little fill at the end, but at the end, the chords, got even more stripped down. Then our initial loops came back. And then we added the accordion leg. On top of it's a bit of a reach. Right, it actually got essentially simpler, but then kind of quoted itself with those little loops. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, well, Ride, Zonpaul, you guys got any requests? You guys got any songs? I mean, there's a lot to be said for simplicity. The technical stuff, the kind of things that Vi and Satriani are doing in their own bands are for a different audience. And they're pursuing different ends. But they're doing what they do. They kind of came to be in an era where those sorts of chops were, extremely valued, extremely important. Well, I mean, Vi developed those chops in Zappa's band. which was like the anti-impress women band. All right, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break while you hunt down a request. All right. But you know, the likes of Satriani and Vi and all those 80s shredder dudes, the vast majority of them kind of became what they were because they were in Los Angeles and around that area. And if you wanted to get work, you know, if you wanted to be able to get somebody's attention, to get a gig, you had to be able to seriously play because there were so many just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous technicians out there. It's kind of like Nashville. You know, if you want to get somebody's attention as a guitar player in Nashville, or a drummer for that matter, or a keyboard player, you better be really good. Nah, dude, any type of metal. Priest only listens to black metal and insists that it is in fact the only type of metal, but specifically from Poland and Iceland. But we're open to whatever. It's Metal Monday, man, not Furry Friday. Don't bring him in here. Come on, YouTube. Oh my god, it's being so slow. No, that's cool. I mean, anything. I'm fine with any genre. Feel load though, man. It's like taking ages. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so we gotta get a drop D for this. Now it's in C sharp, so it could be a half step down. We'll have to hear what the low notes do so far, or what the low notes do in a second. So far, all I hear is just like C sharp minor. It could, however, be in drop D a half step down, which would, dang it, get back on there. Obviously, be drop D flat. Yeah, so it's a half step down. All right, so hold on. Let's change to something we can put in that tuning. Change to something we can put in drop D flat really easily. Obviously, Floyd guitar is not ideal for doing that. Oh, we forgot to update the guitar command when we got this guy out. Something with fixed bridge. Oh, leg is itching. shallower strap lock strap. Alright, so alright. So starting off with some volume swells with some delay, some modulated delay. So it's about bum 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 bum. Alright, and some reverb. Not that much reverb though. Alright, so we're fading in. Then an A7, then a C, It doesn't matter. It's not about it being hard. It's just more about the process. The string keeps jumping right over the note, though. Actually, I like that idea, Pre-War Wednesday. It would make Alec really mad, which makes me like it even more. Yeah, we got to come up with some more themes. Got to start mixing stuff up more. I had what else? I had Motown Mondays, which I think would be fun. Had like Weirdo Wednesdays doing all avant-garde and weird music, which would be great for the channel. I think it's probably played down here. We need to bring the delay level up a little. There we go. So we have a D minor. Then we have an A7. Then we have a C. So you can play a couple different places. Then back to the D minor. So well, I mean, the sellout themes were supposed to be the stuff like Metal Monday and Wee Wednesday. Just play nothing from snippets of songs used in Vines. I think the time change has killed off Grimm, and to a lesser extent Dofasad too. Maybe made it harder for them to hang out for as long. All right. Alright, so those lead guitar, the lead guitars that are coming in there on top of this part are actually reversed. They've been recorded with a looper or a delay that can do reverse and played backwards and then pitch shifted upwards an octave. They're all really pretty much just like the minor blues scale. But you can tell from like the weird attack and the fact that the vibrato sounds backwards. So instead of, you hear oh, oh, oh. effects for this part. Bow. Delay just mixes things up. Bottom, bottom. So do this a couple different ways. We're pulling off from the 12th fret. Or doing it all on one string. Then too much reverb. Then big open power chord. Right, so it's 1, 1, 2, then triple it. Then it starts building. Right, so then big open with a little D octave on top. All right, Paul, thanks for stopping in, man. Always glad to have you. It's probably about time to wrap it up anyway, next 10 minutes or so. So we'll be hitting 3 hours, and that's plenty of time. I don't think we even need the reverb. So da 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 dump. Alright, so you're getting a little bit of Dorian. Dump. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Boom. Man, whoever these guys are, they really like Tool. Like a lot. Dom da 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 dom da 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 dom. So alright, so So basically, the second part here is building up for what I'm guessing is going to be a type of chorus or pre-chorus. It's taking that initial verse riff. Right, and just adding in kind of these 8th notes, or well, really 16th notes probably. Once you hear the drums going. Boom, boom, boom. Right, then up to the G. Ba-da-dum. Sounds like we have a G harmonic minor. Dum, dum. 27 arpeggio. Da-da-dum. Not quite, not quite. Do-da-da-da-dum. There we go. It sounds like we just go down the minor scale from there. Alright, so that little chorus. It's not like we're back into that lick. Alright, we're back into that verse, that same verse that come there. Alright, the same riff built up, then minus the 16th note. I'm guessing we're gonna get our do-do-do-do. Then probably gonna be the same thing again. Yep. Alright, so we're going into something that's similar to the initial riff, but with a little bit of a wah-wah pedal shifting across it. Alright, start to pick more. Right, they need a little. Little D minor noodling. So that's kind of moving up these little half step sections in the D minor scale, starting from the minor third with tremolo picking. That's just straight pull-offs. Alright, so it's just 5-3-0. And up to 8. And up to 10 with a slow bend. Kind of making its way back up to the D. And that's main riff again. So I think the best finger for that though, there's got to be a better fingering. That's our same little bridge section again. Alright, so coming out of... It sounds like we're going to go back into that. Yeah. Oh, they don't let it resolve down to the D at the end. That's rank. All right. So the outro is pretty much the same chorus again. Stays on that E instead of ever resolving down to for the final note, which is pretty trolly, really. Pretty trolly. All right, well, 3:10. Yeah, guess we'll wrap it up. Get back in standard before you. Yeah, a ton of the Skip James stuff is in open D minor. A lot of Bucka White stuff is in open D minor too, like Aberdeen, Mississippi Blues or Parchment Farm Blues. Take other lot of that Skip James stuff is using those kind of tropes, these little moving octaves and stuff. And that phrase turns up in a ton of them. Variations of it. The Skip James stuff is usually a little more animated, and it's using this kind of thing where we're hammering on the open G. Dude, Casey Jolly, how are you? Thank you so much for that resub. That's amazing. You know, and then we start to work our... Well, it's really good to hear from you. I'm going to pop back in and say hi more often. Like I said, I really appreciate that resub. We're probably getting ready to wrap up for the night anyway. That's why we're kind of just noodling around. These things have kind of slowed down. Just me and Ride hanging out mostly. But always happy to see you. Yeah, see you later. See you next time, man. The action is too low to really play slide on this. You just hear frets. That kind of cool pattern there where you have one finger doing and then stepping up here to get the well, I mean, there were a lot more that weren't blind. But if you were blind, one of the very few things that you could do, you know, to make a living was be a musician. You know, there were specifically schools for the blind at the time in the South, of all things, who would readily accept African Americans, and they could, you know, learn to read music, learn to play various instruments, all that kind of stuff. And you'll find actually quite a number of the old blind blues guys wound up going to them at different times in their lives. You know, but if you wanted to make some kind of money, it's, you know, maybe not the only thing you could do, but one of the very few things you could still do. Some of the R.L. Burnside, there are a few R.L. Burnside pieces that are in that type of tuning too. I think he usually has it a whole step higher though, like E minor. Right. It's much more about getting the kind of right hand patterns than anything else though. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're coming at 3:21, so let's go ahead and call it a night. But we'll be back Wednesday for something. I think we're supposed to be on Weeb Wednesday. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to go check and see whatever we did last week. I think we just did Halloween stuff last week, so. Or no, when was that? What week is it even? Oh, holy crap! It's the 10th already. Jeez Louise. Still think we're supposed to be Weeb Wednesday though. I'm not sure though. Like I said, really want to come up with some more categories. You're down for Weird Wednesday, Weirdo Wednesday. The issue with weird, I would love to do it. The issue is it's like the anti-sellout category. Getting people to stick around for it is a challenge. Or would surely be a challenge. Especially, playing some Jandek. interesting if I can finger that properly. That 9 sharp 11. All right. Well, I'm out. I'll catch you Wednesday with whatever we happen to be doing. Should probably give more heads up before we totally change it for a week, but I'll see you next time.